I answered the call with a trembling hand. Her voice, sweet, polished, rehearsed, slid through the receiver like it had been practiced for years. "I need to see you," she said. I paused, not out of shock, but calculation. This woman, the one who left me in the cold for the warmth of a new family, suddenly needed me, and I knew why. I remember the day she walked out. I was 8, clutching my worn teddy like it was a lifeline. She kissed my forehead, whispered that life had bigger plans, and vanished. Her bigger plans were a new husband, a new child, a picture-perfect life I wasn't invited to. My father, broken, shrugged. I learned early, love could be traded. Trust could be sold. Years passed. I thrived in the shadow of her absence. I grew sharp, observant. I studied people the way a hunter studies prey, but I never stopped noticing her. Every social media post, every new face, every family holiday, like a needle scraping across the same wound. And then, the signs began. A fleeting comment from a mutual friend, a financial irregularity in her social circle, rumors whispered between lips that didn't know I existed. Subtle, but enough for me to act. I didn't confront, I collected, documented, cataloged. Each piece a thread, weaving a net I would eventually cast. The turning point came on a mundane Thursday. I intercepted an email, a mistake on her part. She had siphoned money from her perfect family's trust. Not a small sum, not a fleeting act, but a deliberate, calculated betrayal. My pulse didn't race. My mind did. I had what I needed. And for the first time, I felt a cold satisfaction. I spent months planning. Every detail mattered. I traced her digital footprint, secured the legal avenues, aligned the evidence to ensure her empire would crumble without a single misstep on my part. I wasn't angry, I was precise. Revenge isn't fire, it's ice. It's the patience to let the world slip by while you wait for the perfect moment to strike. Then came the day I set the trap. She had been flaunting her wealth, her family, her success, the very symbols of the life she stole from me. I appeared quietly, almost like a ghost, at her doorstep. Her expression faltered. She tried to smile, to charm, but I saw through it. I always did. I let her talk first. Confessions, regrets, apologies. The sweet, syrupy tone meant nothing. I let her believe she had the upper hand. Then, piece by piece, I unveiled her reckoning. I presented the evidence. Every transaction, every manipulated contract, every lie she had spun to cover her greed. She went silent. Her new family watched as her veneer cracked. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I simply laid the truth bare. And in that silence, she understood. The power she thought she wielded, the family she thought was untouchable, it all depended on deceit. And I had dismantled it without a single raised voice. Her face shifted from shock to panic, and I could almost hear the gears grinding behind her eyes. I stayed calm, measured. I gave her the space to squirm in her own guilt. Every tear, every stammered excuse was a confirmation I had won. Not through rage, not through confrontation, but through intellect and patience. My revenge wasn't just about punishment. It was about reclaiming what she had stolen. My dignity, my sense of justice, my narrative. When I walked away, I felt lighter than I had in decades. I didn't gloat. I didn't linger. There was no closure for her, only the slow burn of accountability. For me, it was liberation. The child she abandoned, the woman she underestimated, had orchestrated a reckoning so complete, so meticulous, that it would linger long after my shadow had disappeared. I never called her again. She doesn't reach out. She can't. And that's the final act of my revenge. Not her punishment, but my ascent. The irony is sweet. She sought reconnection for her convenience, but all she received was the mirror of her own betrayal. I walk through life now unshaken. I have no need for her affection, no craving for her approval. I am whole, precise, and untouchable. I've mastered patience. I've mastered strategy. I've mastered revenge. And in doing so, I've finally mastered myself.